Good afternoon, class. How are you today? I am fine too. So, may I request everybody to please stand up for our silent prayer? Let's start. Thank you very much. You may now take your seats. I am just going to check your attendance. Say, hey ho, if your name is called, okay? Excellent. No one is absent for today. Now, I just wanted to remind everybody of our classroom rules. Number one, teacher doesn't want a noisy pupil. Number two, listen attentively to our lessons. And if you have something to say or ask, just raise your hand and ask politely. Okay? Is that clear? Very good. So I want everybody to read the words written on these flashcards. Ready? Word number one, we have wool. Word number two, we have bush. Word number three, we have motion. Word number four is force. So I just want to remind everybody that these words will be the main point of our discussion for today. So before we proceed to our new lesson, who can tell me what was our lesson yesterday? Anyone? Very good. Now, who can give me the beneficial interactions among organisms that we discussed? Uh, Excellent. Very good. Yesterday, we were able to finish our lesson 2 in chapter 2. That is why today we will proceed to our new lesson, which is force and motion. Are you excited? Very good. So as you can see here, class, I have a speaker on my table. Now the question is the speaker moving or not? Very good. The speaker is not moving. However, the question is, will the speaker move if I push it or pull it? Very good. It will move. So for today's lesson, we will going to know if why the speaker move if I push it or pull it again. Okay? So for today's lesson, we are going to talk about the motion of object. So it says here that in order for something to get moving, it must be pushed or pulled along. In science, pushes and pulls are called forces. So ang sinasabi para sa isang bagay na gumalaw ay kailangang hatakin o hilahin ito pabalik. So sa science, ang paghila or ang pag-pull at ang pag-pushes ay tinatawag na force. So, yun. So, ang force is the push or pull that we use to make things move. We need it to make things move. So, yung force or yung puwersa ay isang paraan ng pag-push and pull para mapagalaw natin ang isang bagay. At kinakailangan natin ang puwersa or ang force para mapagalaw ang isang bagay. Kagaya ng ginawa natin kanina. Hindi gumagalaw ang speaker pero nung tinulak ko siya at tinatak ko pabalik, gumalaw na ang speaker. So yun. Next one is we have the motion. Motion is the movement of things from one place to another and the change of positions or the locations. So yung motion or yung movement o kung sa Tagalog ay ang paggalaw ay ang pag-change ng position ng isang object mula sa isang place papunta sa isa-isa. Kagaya kanina, andito yung speaker. Nung tinulak ko siya, napunta siya sa ditong side. At nung kinuha ko siya pabalik, napunta siya dito sa side na to. So yun ang motion, ang paggalaw ng isang bagay. So, palatandaan natin, nagkakaroon ng motion kapag merong force. So another example of force, class, is when you write. Because when you write, you exert a force on the pencil or the ball pen you use. And when you exert a force, it means you will push and pull the pencil or the ball pen you use across the paper. So another example is when you eat. Do you know why there is force in eating? Very good, because when we eat, we chew our food, and chewing is a process of push and pull. Our teeth push and pull the food, resulting to chewing. Understood? Excellent. Now, class, I want you to think that you are now in a playground. playing seesaw, swings, and other things around it. So, example, nasa seesaw kayo. When it is still and you and your friend sit on it, it will begin to move. Why? Because one seat goes up and the other goes down. You and your friend change position, and because you goes up and down to keep the seesaw moving. Remember, if you change your position, you are moving. That's another example for motion. Now, do you have questions? Wala na. Magaling. So, very good. Remember, class, motion is the movement we make or how we move an object. So, if I will move my hand from this direction to this side, that is motion. If you move your lips, or you nod to your classmates, um, that is also a motion. Nakuha? Magaling. So, meron din tayong tinatawag na types of motion class. So, meron tayong up and down motion. So, ang example nito is kapag nasa swing kayo, yung bumababa at tumataas ang upuan nyo, kasama na rin kayo. So, ang pangalawa is meron tayong straight line motion. Example, naglalaro kayo ng baseball at tatakbo ka papunta sa base. Yun ang straight line motion. Example, running or walking in a straight line manner. So, yung back and forth, example, dito sa swing. Kasi kapag nagsiswing ka, ang mangyayari, itutulak ka ng pwersa pa harap at pa likod. So, yun ang back and forth motion. So, round and round, kapag naglalaro ka ng merry-go-round, kung saan iikot ka ng iikot. So, yung zigzag is kapag naghahabulan kayo ng mga classmates nyo. Ganon ang zigzag motion. So, I have here a couple of boxes in my table, and later on, I will distribute it to you for our activity. But first, I will divide you into 3 groups. Each group will be given the needed materials, and I will be reading the instructions. That is why it is important to you, class, that you should listen very carefully, okay? So, also, every group should select a leader. The leader will present your work. I will only give you 15 minutes to think and answer the questions for our activity. So, group 1 will be working beside this table, and group 2 will be working on the middle of the room, and group 3 will be working on the corner of our room. So before we start, I want everybody to start to recite together our rules when doing a group activity. Everybody ready? Rule number 1, follow directions regularly. Rule number 2, cooperate with one another. Rule number 3, listen to the idea of each other. And rule number 4, always be open-minded. Remember that, always, okay? Very good. Excellent class. I am very impressed. Seems like you really understood our lessons. So dahil dyan, gusto ko palakpakan natin ang ating mga sarili. So class, what is our topic for today? Very good. Motion of an object. So what is force? Force is the push or pull of an object. So do we need force? Yes, absolutely. How do we move an object? By pushing or pulling it. So what is motion? Motion is the movement of an object. Who can give me an example of the motion? Excellent. So, excellent class. So, how do we use force and motions in doing good thing, class? Very good, class. Always choose to do good. Spend force and motion you have in doing good things, which will make your parents and people around you proud and happy of your actions. So, for that, let's give ourselves a round of applause. So, great. All of you really understood our lesson, and you also know how to appreciate and how to correctly use motion and force that benefits us and others. So, with that, good job, everyone. So, class, if you don't have any questions and you understand our topic, we will now going to have a short quiz. Okay? So, kindly pass this to your seatmate. Okay? Thank you. So, the general instruction is put a smiley face if you think the statement is correct, and put a sad face if you think it's not or if it is wrong. Did you get it? Okay, very good. So let's assume that the students or the pupils are all finished doing their and answering their short quiz. So for the assignment, look for the meaning of the following terms. Number one, gravitational force. Number two, frictional force. And number three, tension force.